My name is Bryce Kosey. I'm 23 years old, from Columbus, Ohio, and this is Financial Audit.
What do you do for a living in Columbus, Ohio?
So I own a rental inflatable company. So we rent, correct. Yeah. I bought it March 1st of 2022. The business has been around since, I think, 2011.
Oh, okay. What made you go to buy this company, decide to?
So my mentor owned it originally. And as I was getting out of the military, I've always been interested in entrepreneurship. And he has a really successful real estate management company. It's like an investment firm too, a brokerage. Yep. And he was kind of looking to step away from it. And so I figured it'd be a great opportunity. So we came together with a seller finance deal. And yeah.
How is it owning a company at 23?
It's been a large learning curve, but I'm loving it. Loving it.
So how's the business doing? You've owned it for almost a full year.
Correct. Yeah. March 1st was my full year of owning it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it is March. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Did you have to buy the company?
Yeah. So what we did was more of like an asset acquisition. I got the trade name, so we kept the book of business, but I bought everything that the business had, and it's under a different LLC, but 100% seller financed. I just had to, I took out about $10,000 from my Roth IRA to kind of fund the initial couple of months. So state inspections, things like that.
Okay.
Yep. I didn't feel too great about it either, but
if you're considering taking $10,000 out of your IRA, push the subscribe button, and that might convince you not to do something like that. I mean, hopefully it works out. We'll get into the money. I don't know anything about the finances for this, so we will learn.
Yep.
How many employees do you manage?
So right now, they're all part-time. I have an admin, kind of like an assistant general manager, and currently 3 guys that are on team. And then at the peak of the season, we get up to 12.
What's the peak of the season?
Typically, yeah, we start in April is when we really pick up, and then we'll start dying down around
What
November.
are these, like balloon bouncy houses?
Yeah, bounce houses mostly. Yeah, we do other rentals, so other party rentals, so tables, chairs, concessions, things like that.
Well, I want to get into this a little bit, and I want to get into your finances too, but I want to hear from your perspective first. How is your personal finance situation?
You know, I think it's, for my age category, I think I'm doing okay. I think, you know, there's always room for improvement, and, you know, I can always be doing better.
Well, what does that necessarily mean? Because the average for our age category is absolutely terrible. So okay could still be terrible. Yeah.
So right now, I just actually paid off all the debt on the business. So I bought the entire business for $165,000.
Okay, it's not much.
Yeah, very, very relatively a good price, actually. And just paid that off March 1st of this year, actually.
Nice. Okay, well, let's get into some of these business finance before we touch your personal finance. So $160,000 purchase price, essentially, right?
Yeah.
What was like the loan length? Was it a year?
It was a 36-month term.
Okay, you just went early?
Yeah, I hate debt, so.
Interest on it?
Yep, 7.5%.
Okay, well
so then, it was relatively high.
you did a good choice. So what are we bringing in for revenue on a yearly basis on average? Are we seeing growth? What does the growth look like?
Yeah, so we've been growing roughly 30% year over year.
Sweet.
And this year's looking to be about the same. And we're multi-6-figure revenue. I just brought on some investors, which is how I helped pay down the debt.
Okay, well that's different. Well, how much of your company did you give up?
About 22%.
Okay. Why'd you decide to do that?
Help pay off the debt faster.
That was mostly it?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they bringing any expertise?
Yes. Actually, the previous owner wanted to convert some of the debt into equity at a new valuation.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So we did a $450,000 valuation.
450. What is the revenue? What was the revenue
last year? Was EBITDA on that was about 100,000.
That was my next question. And the valuation again, one more time?
Right now it's.
Why'd he sell it for only 160?
His property management company is doing fantastic, and it's taking up all of his time. And so to continue growth, he really just wanted to step away from it.
Yeah, but continued growth without any ownership in it at that time.
Yeah.
So
I think he was just tired of it. I think he wanted to step away.
Probably could have got a better deal on that.
Probably.
Like what, 300,000?
There was no
probably?
management in place when I came in. It was all him, and he had a couple of part-time employees. So I've implemented a lot of systems to kind of remove myself from an active role in it.
Well, now you're doing revenue sharing, right? Of
Correct.
about 25-ish%.
About, yeah.
Yeah. What did you bring home last year?
So I took home about 55,000. So after the debt payments, I made about 45,000 in debt payments.
And do you think that'll go down this year now that you own 25% less, but you are having 30% growth?
Correct.
So how's this going to even out in your mind?
Without the debt payments as well, I'm budgeting for roughly, I think conservatively, $80,000 to $85,000 this year, and take home should be realistic.
Okay, we'll call it 80 just to be on the safer side. Okay. Well, I mean, that's good. What were you doing before this?
So I was in the military until 2020. I got out, went into banking. I was a banker for a while. Then I was kind of apprenticing under the previous owner. I was working at this job while going to college full time, while banking full time. So I was working 80.
What was your position at this company?
I worked all the way from just a regular guy that would set it up to the operations manager, and then I bought it. So
very cool.
Yeah, very
cool. And how'd you end up in like his mentorship position?
So I reached out to a friend of a friend of a family friend, basically, and they said that they knew someone that was in real estate. Because when I was exiting the military, I was trying to like refine what I wanted to do with my life, and I knew I could use some mentorship. And so I was kind of asking around. I just read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and so I was asking around for anyone that knew anyone that was involved in real estate. So I eventually got the name of kind of like my mentor, and reached out to him a bunch, and he kind of blew me off for a while. But after like 3-4 months of consistent reaching out, he was like, okay, you can work at my bounce house company, and then worked for his real estate company for a while as well. And that's, yeah.
Very cool. It. Well, definitely a cool story. Let's get into your personal finances now. So we're going to go from about $55,000 a year before debt payments, right?
Yep.
To about $80,000 a year now. Let us go ahead and take a look at some things. Looks like you have a savings account, IRA, credit card, and checking. So the checking started about $2,000, then it ended up at $892. So where do you think all your money is going at this point in your life?
A lot of food, really.
What, eating out and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
When I was working 80 hours a week or so, eating out was really like the best way for me to eat at that time frame, and that was kind of hard to switch off as I've been slowly working less hours. So
it's so hard to convert off of eating out.
Yeah, it is. I've gotten a lot better at it over the last month and a half. So now I'm spending like $60 a week on groceries.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see on here Prime Video, Microsoft something subscription, FanDuel, Disney Plus, Amazon. Yeah. Then you Venmoed out some money, American Express payment that was $1,500 for the money that came in. That's a halfway decent chunk. And then transferring to another checking account.
Yep. So that account that I transfer to is where my rent and then my truck payments come out of.
Truck payment, as in car debt.
Correct.
I don't have a statement for that.
I looked at it yesterday. I'm at about, call it 23,800.
All right, we'll get there. All right. See, I thought we were about to be a little more positive for a second, because as I scroll through here, I did not see that. So, yeah, not too much here on this primary checking account. This is mostly just paying off cards and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Transferring, and then some subscriptions you have, and movie rentals, maybe.
Yep, a lot of movie rentals. My girlfriend and I watch a lot of movies.
Okay. But your Marcus has a good amount of money in here. So we have $31,000. What is the purpose of this to you?
So that to me, I was saving up to pay off the rest of the debt in full. I know a lot of people like to make advance payments, but I personally am much more comfortable keeping a lot of cash on hand. It just gives you more options. And I knew it didn't, like the interest wasn't balancing out between my Marcus account versus the interest I'm being charged on my debt. But I raised $100,000 on that investment round that I just did, and then I paid off the rest of the debt with personal savings. So now I've only got like $1,000 left in personal savings, which is terrifying.
So that's not the reality of your savings?
No, not right now. No, I just use that to pay down the remainder of the debt.
Cross that off. Go ahead and put 1,000. That's totally different. Again, something that I thought was positive for a second immediately comes. Well, I'm glad there's no debt on the company. That is a positive.
Yeah.
Giving a percentage of the company, though. I mean,
we do have a buyback option between years 3 and 5 for me. So there's going to be some built-in appreciation to the equity, and I'm planning on buying back the majority of the investor that.
Do they know that?
Yes, he wanted that built in.
Okay, I was going to say because they know it now.
Yep.
Share it. So, okay. This IRA, let's go ahead and take a look. So this is actually halfway decent for a 23-year-old. I think just getting started.
It's very low, personally.
It is low, but again, 23. I mean, obviously, we'd all want it higher, but I think starting at 23, you're at $8,044. Okay, S&P 500 ARC, huh?
I have one share of that. It's just like space innovation.
Okay.
I think it's like $100 for that share.
And PEY?
Yep, that's mostly a dividend ETF.
Oh, okay.
So it's mostly in financial sectors, utilities, stable. I think it's 4% dividend.
4%. Okay. So I mean, in general, yeah, the total distribution of what you own here and the risk, comfortable with me. $8,044. When did you start investing into this?
When I was about 19 or 20, actually 20. So right at the bottom of the market when COVID happened, I thought it was a great opportunity. And so I opened up my Roth IRA and started investing what I could.
That's Roth based?
Yep.
Oh, very good. Mm-hmm. Now, you've never maxed it out then, clearly.
I had
once.
2021, yeah. 2022, obviously I was focused on paying off the debt of the company.
Yeah.
Just because it wouldn't make sense to do.
No, not at 7%. Okay, so that makes sense. Then we have the credit card as well. Mm-hmm. So you do pay this off every month, it looks like.
Yep.
Because the car is your debt situation.
Correct.
New charges, though, $2,424.
Yeah.
That's a lot for your income.
Yeah. That month I went to Vegas, had a couple of comp nights at the Wynn and free flights. And it was my birthday, my buddy's girlfriend's birthday, and we made a big trip out of it. So a little wild there.
Which is more important than paying off your truck?
Definitely not realistically. No. No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So definitely, cafevegas.com. I don't even, Eastside Lounge. Show. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ubering around and Roosters and Cinemark. Just, yeah. Lots of spending money. BJ's restaurant. Oh, well, it's only $4.29. But you went to Meijer. I miss going to Meijer. Meijer's great. We only have HEB down here, which everyone in Texas loves, but it's nothing compared to Meijer. I'm about to get shot for that. Roosters, again. So, yeah, Panda Express. There's lots of places that Chipotle, McDonald's, just going out to eat, as you said, a lot. So this is already self-flagged. Now it's Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, Buffalo Wild Wings, Roosters shows up constantly in Panda Express. And Panda Express, you must work out a lot or have a high metabolism because you don't have the dad bod like I do. And Beer Kitchen, Pork Chop. My goodness, how long does this statement go? Burger King and all these different things. Starbucks. Couple pages, yeah. Cinemark, Panda Express. So this keeps going. Panda Express, Chick-fil-A, Barry's Bagels, Kitchen Soul. Okay, finally, coming to the end. Son of Thurman. And I did not read them all. I picked like half, maybe a third in Chipotle. But cool. That's a lot. Yeah, definitely 25% interest rate if you hold any debt. So that would not be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never missed a payment on cards. So
very good. Very good. Very happy to hear that. All right. And good credit score. Not top of the line or anything, but good credit score at 734, 740. So let's go ahead and pull it up. It looks like it's staying pretty flat. Nothing crazy is happening, but it'll build over time as your credit ages.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main thing holding you back right now. And also, yeah, the diversity of accounts. Looks like you do have a Chase credit card too. You just don't spend.
Correct. I put my gym membership on there.
Okay.
Which is maybe $37 a month.
All right. So Toyota of some kind.
Yeah.
When did you get this thing?
Oh man. So this was probably the worst thing that I've done financially in my life.
Wow.
Very embarrassing. I bought it September of 2021.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is it? A Toyota?
It's a F-150.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I got it with the intention of buying the company. So we do have 3 vans that we use, but there's times where I might have to pick up some of the equipment from an event or drop off equipment.
And how often does that actually happen?
Relatively, actually.
Okay.
It's probably once or twice a week.
Okay. And what year is this car?
2015.
Trucks are expensive. And then you
Not
got the
cheap.
gas with that.
Yeah.
So $24,242 left on here as of the time of this statement.
Yep.
72-month term.
Yeah.
Monthly payment of $508. And you're pulling some classic American card debt
Average,
here.
yeah. Average monthly payment.
So you took out a total of $30,514. What's your interest?
6%.
Yeah. Okay. So it says 6.16. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something we definitely would want to pay off if it's, in that
Absolutely.
6% range, but we're choosing going to Vegas over this.
Yeah, I didn't know that I was going to be paying off the business that quickly. So when you're in almost $200,000 of debt, it feels
What does that
like,
matter? What?
It feels
Shouldn't
like,
that put
what's an
even
extra
more of a
grand?
fire under your ass?
Yeah.
Come on, military bro. Don't you got discipline? Isn't that
Yeah.
what it's all about? I was never in the military,
Yeah.
but that's my assumption.
Yeah.
I mean, and even refinancing now, you're not going to be able to do much better, even with your credit score now, because interest rates suck.
Yeah. And it was a used vehicle, which is why I think the interest rate was so high when I bought it.
What was your credit score at the time?
I think roughly the same.
Really?
Yeah, but maybe 728, 730.
It's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. And then you probably have relatively expensive insurance on this.
It's about $125 a month.
Not crazy. So priority for you is paying this off, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay. What have you done? Has anything started for paying this off, or is it like go time
So,
start now?
Yeah, it's go time start now. Now that I'm able to, actually pay myself a little bit more. I was only taking a draw of about $2,000 a month from the actual business,
Right.
and then the rest was going to savings, which is how I built up that 30,000.
Yeah, 2,500 spent on a credit card last month, but yeah.
Yeah, so I was budgeting about $2,000 for monthly spending outside of rent and the truck payment. So I do make $1,600 a month from a pension from the military.
Is that forever?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So I was medically discharged for a back injury. I've got a picture of it if you want to see it. It's pretty wild. I think people
really
enjoy the picture. Yeah. But
pull it up. Let's see.
Yeah.
Feel free to email that to me. We'll put it on screen if it doesn't demonetize this video.
It shouldn't.
But warning potentially for those who are icked.
Pretty wicked looking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that shouldn't ick anyone, but that's wild. Whoa, what happened?
Yeah, so I went into the military with scoliosis. It was very limited. And then just from rucking, airborne selection, things like that, my spine continued to compress and it advanced that scoliosis. So,
well, what branch did you join?
Army.
Army? Okay, what did you do?
I was a ranger in the 75th Ranger Regiment. So we're a part of Special Operations Command, infantrymen in regiment.
Where were you stationed?
Savannah, Georgia. So Hunter Army Airfield.
You never had to go overseas?
No.
Oh, okay. And how many years?
So I was in 2 years before they caught that it had gotten worse, and
Jeez.
it was beyond.
How is
regulation.
It now?
So when I joined, it was about 24 degrees curvature. 30 degrees is the like within regulations. So anything past that is when they cut you off. When they found it, it was at 37 degrees, and now it's roughly 52.
Dude,
Yeah.
well, is there? I don't know anything about it. Is there?
Yeah.
Well, what can be done?
spinal fusion, but that would like permanently lock my spine in place, and I'm trying to hold off on that until it's kind of unbearable.
How is 54% not on?
Oh, it's painful.
Just right now?
Yeah.
Just like straight up hurts?
Yeah, but I mean, you get used to it.
When is it considered?
It's considered severe after 45 degrees of curvature. But
so they lock it into place at what degree?
So they take metal rods and they screw it to your spine to straighten it. And then I think they take like bone marrow and basically fuse the rest of your spine together. So they try to get it under 10 degrees of curvature.
I assume that's a little expensive.
Yeah, not cheap.
Yeah, how much do you know?
I think the procedure is $175,000. Yeah, so I'm trying to put that off too.
And how is your insurance?
Right now, through the VA. So not quite sure what that would cover, quite honestly.
You haven't looked into it?
Not entirely, no.
Are you well, this is my ignorance. Are you VA forever or how long?
Yeah. So after you serve and if you get an honorable discharge, you're considered a veteran. So yeah.
Which means you get it for okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And what was this amount that you get on a monthly basis from them?
$1,600.
Okay. Now, no one would be able to live off of that in most places in the country alone.
No.
So, but it's an extra something.
Yeah.
I mean, for 2 years of your time, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty sick?
Yeah. I'm very grateful for it.
And what are you pulling from the business now? I assume this is the slow season. So
correct. Yeah.
How are we looking with that?
So we budget for basically to carry into the next season. So we budgeted all the way up until May, but our season picks up in April. So
good.
Yeah, business is covered in expenses and owner's pay. So I'm still just paying myself the $2,000 just because I hadn't
just
been advancing.
$2,000.
Yeah.
So when can you? Because you said $80,000 this year. When are you amping that up?
So I'll probably kick it up to $3,000, and then we do distributions semi-annually. So we'll do it in July and then also January.
Now, are you set up in a way where your taxes are being withheld, or
no? But I'm just putting that into a savings account for taxes
that I don't have access to because I didn't see it.
Not yet. Yeah. So I had already paid taxes for last year. So I paid all of the taxes that were due for last year's income, and this year, yeah, I'll just be continuing to set it aside in the savings account.
But you haven't these last couple months. We're starting month number 3.
Yeah.
So there will be a little bit of catch up.
Absolutely.
Probably about 30%. I would do.
Yeah, I was going to do closer to 35.
Okay, if you want to. I mean, yeah, maybe. Yikes. Okay, so when you amping it up again? I think you said
so April.
April. Okay. And what are you going to be amping it up to?
I'll do the draw of $3,000, and then I'll true up in July, and then true up in
how much
January. So if I'm paying myself $3,000, that's $36,000 a year, and then out of the $80,000, that'll about 44.
Are you sure you're going to get to 80 this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very conservative.
Okay. So let's build your budget then, and let's get out of here. So get out of your car debt. I mean,
yeah.
So we're bringing in right now only $3,600 a month.
Correct.
What's your rent?
$1,125.
Okay. It's very expensive rent for your income.
Yeah.
Why? Because this wasn't like guaranteed and stuff.
Yeah.
The income.
Yeah.
Why'd you get into such an expensive rent for your situation?
So before I owned the business, I was in bathroom remodeling sales as well. I was doing about $10,000 a month in that.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So that was a much better situation. But then once I purchased the business, I stopped doing that.
And you think this will be more lucrative over time?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I think so too. Okay. So that's your rent. Utilities?
Roughly $150 a month. I only pay for electric and water.
Groceries?
We'll call it $300 a month.
What was your car payment again?
I do $510 a month.
Is that the car payment?
It's like $508.
Okay. Really moving the needle. And then it was $125 for car insurance.
Correct.
What other monthly payments can you think of that you are required to pay? Utilities, groceries, rent. Gas, how much do you think you spend?
I spend roughly $150 a month on gas.
Okay. Yeah, owning a car is America's biggest tax. Because you're required to own one to live here, essentially.
Yeah.
All right. Groceries, utilities, rent, car insurance, gas. Anything else you can think of?
No, besides, when I was eating out a lot, I really don't like to spend money.
Well, there were like movie rentals and PlayStations, but those aren't like required monthly payments.
Yeah. I think in subscriptions I have $30 a month total.
Okay, but those probably aren't needs.
No, they're not.
All right, dude. So your required minimum monthly payments right now are $2,360 a month, also known as 66% of your income, which, your needs category shouldn't surpass 50%. Mm-hmm. So you're 16% over your needs category allotment. Then the rest are just taken up with wants, really, at this point.
Yeah.
So, you're just maxed. Your needs are too high and your wants are too high. But even still, let's see. So 2,360 divided by your soon-to-be 4,600 a month. That's still, your wants are still just, or your needs are still just slightly too high. At this point, it's only 51%, so you're 1% over, but that's scary. Anything gets added to the mix, any payments get in, anything we potentially forgot about in your required monthly payments, sometimes I blank on them on the spot. What are we doing? All of a sudden, you're stretched right now. Mm-hmm. You're stretched. And you're still having all this fun on the side of going out to eat like crazy and going to Vegas like crazy.
Yeah.
When you have a 6.16% interest rate, which, compared to a lot of other people on this show might not seem like a lot, but that's still
high.
Not great. Yeah. Because you're not always guaranteed to beat that when investing instead of paying it off early. So it makes sense to pay that off early. So really, when it comes down to this, those needs would have to be kept the same for now because there's really nothing you can do about it. If you do truly get up to $80,000 a year, I'm chill with that rent. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't happen for whatever reason, I am going to just trust you. But if it doesn't, might need to look at some cheaper rent for a bit. Let's say it's a slower year than expected for some reason. And again, I don't think it will be, but just always got to be cautious.
Of course.
Businesses go up and down. Maybe it's I don't know. But either way, whatever. You're quickly increasing your income by $1,000. So we already have those needs categories rented, and we're adding an extra $1,000 to your overall graph that you need. From there, with $1,000 in an emergency fund, where you siphon off money from the business, that is too risky for me. I think business owners should have more of like a 12-month emergency fund.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's what I personally do as a business owner of this.
Yeah. Now, I am job shopping to kind of hop back into the workforce. I know, crazy look.
Dude, how many hours a week are you working right now running a business?
At the peak of the season this year, I'll be working about 10 hours a week, which is why I'll be, I'm looking at hopping back into the workforce.
Or why do you have so many part-time people? Why aren't you doing some of the work 10 hours a week, your business?
So if I can, my guys make anywhere from $16 to $20 an hour. And so if I can make more elsewhere. Yeah,
but how many other jobs could you do you think?
I was just planning on, so there was a couple of jobs. One is basically
of the people that you hire who are not putting into the business as much as someone who owns the business, how many of them do you think you could do yourself?
Probably 2 of the part-time jobs.
Okay, so what are you going to be making in some position somewhere?
I'm sorry?
So in one of the job shopping positions that you're looking for, what are you going to be making?
So it would be $50K base salary at one that I was already accepted on, plus commission.
What's the job?
It's a sales position. I would be fully remote.
Sales is good.
Yeah.
Fully remote, very nice.
Yeah. And then another one that I was looking at was working at a financial, like an asset management company. I know one of the partners there who's the head trader. And I would be operations, so basically making sure that trades were fulfilled. And I'm assuming pay would be about $60,000 a year salary. So nothing crazy, but
I think the first one vibes with where you're going to be at. A little more flexible. Sales is usually a little more flexible because you go out, get the work done. Remote, but you get the work done, you make the money, and if you do it, no one's like, oh, you left work 1 minute early today. Oh my goodness. It's all about the results that you bring in, and that might vibe with the business ownership because you might have busier weeks and you might have less busy weeks. Yeah. So.
And they offered me the job. They said that they had onboard me at the end of March. So.
Well, really at this point with where your income and mandatory expenses are, I want you to, we need you to have an emergency fund, but we also have this car situation. So I think it would make sense in your situation to quickly save up $7,500.
Yep.
That's 3 months of your mandatory expenses saved up because, again, your mandatory expenses are quite high.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to do that before going hard on the car is because you're in a unique position where you're a business owner, and that's much more ebb flow versus a salaried position or something like that, or even sales, honestly, at an established institution. So when would that job start?
It would be the last week of March.
Okay. It can take a little bit before sales kind of start up, a couple of months.
Yeah. So I was basing basically just off of the $50K base salary. Then after tax taken out, that's roughly $3,300 a month.
Yeah. So really at that point, you should have $4,300 a month going to save up that much money.
Yeah.
And that should take about 2.5 months to do. Because during this time, because it's an emergency not to have an emergency fund, because you don't have, because the interest rate on your car is rough, and it is, and that car will be a decade old pretty soon.
Yeah.
As well. Which is crazy to think, but you're just not spending money going out to eat.
Yep.
And if your girlfriend wants to rent a movie, she can rent a movie. That's fine. If she wants you guys to go out to eat, she can pay for you guys to go out to eat. But you're like, all right, I'm just getting things to a point where we're in a position that is safe and has minimal risk. So 2.5 months you have that, and then everything should be going to pay off that car. And that was what? $4,300 again, which because of your income situation, what will be your income situation. And we're working on lots of what ifs right now, which I don't like, but
me either.
You were accepted into this position anyway.
Correct.
But so this is again with your new position, not even taking into account any commission, and just adding $1,000 to your income, which you said you're going to be doing in April.
Yep.
So with that, just over 5.5 months, your truck would be paid off.
Yeah.
So that brings us to 8 months total, from 3-month emergency fund to having the truck paid off. Which, I mean, can you go that long without going out to eat, going out to Panda Express, looking at this credit card?
Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because
why are you so confident in that?
When I was really working towards buying the business, I was rarely ever eating out. And well, actually, towards the end, I started eating out a little bit more. But I was very strict on my budget as well. I'd saved up around 20 grand. Most of that was actually around 30. Most of that was in my Roth IRA at the point. But yeah, I've always been very strict on my budget, but this has been more of a recent development since my income has been a little bit strange for the last year or so.
I hope so. Extend it by another 6 months and you'll have another $22,500, which will get you to the total year's worth of an emergency fund for your current set of needs.
Yeah.
So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good plan.
So that's like a year and a quarter, close to a year and a half of just going hard to do all this.
Yep.
I mean, I want to be confident in you. There's nothing that's shown me any doubt other than, in the statements, I didn't see any examples of you, I'm happy the amount you saved up in your markets account.
Yeah.
And obviously that went towards paying off the debt of the business. Okay. But we're just going to go to Vegas and have the time of our lives because I turned an age.
Yeah.
Woo. Everyone turns an age once a year.
Yeah.
Should put your future over that, preferably. And you're just renting movies like crazy and going out to eat like every day.
Yeah.
So I just wish there was a little more example of you being able to do this, but I still think with the discipline that you have, okay, what about this back situation? What if that gets in the way of you working and stuff like that?
So that's also why I'm not so big on, I'll be happy to step in for any of the actual labor that's needed with my business, but these are actually incredibly heavy. They're around 250 to 350 pounds, which is why I'm trying to remove myself from the day-to-day operations of it. I have no problem,
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm trying to make sure longevity wise, I'm going to be all right.
Look into that surgery thing. Maybe that is like the goal before it gets too bad after you have your 6-month emergency or 12-month emergency fund. Yeah. After you have that, after the car's paid off in like a year and a quarter, maybe looking into what your benefits cover when it comes to that.
Okay.
And then seeing what you would have to come up with and where does that align with the different goals. Because a year and a quarter, I wouldn't put anything towards investing at that point.
Yeah.
You're in the best decade of your life. But when you are, you're maxing out your IRA every year.
Yep.
Preferably Roth. And then throwing things into brokerage. And you could be getting things, you can open, there's different kind of retirement accounts that you can open through the business as well. So you can take advantage of tax advantage retirements as well that you can set up through your business. It'll just depend on your situation and, employees and everything like that.
Okay.
But, you'll just meet with someone and figure that all out, what works best for your company. Because, once all this is done, we want you to put as much money towards that as possible. But we might be balancing that with what do we need to come up with in order to have that surgery. Yeah. Because the longevity and you actually being able to experience life is important.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's my thoughts right now. So that's your budget broken down. We'll throw it on screen again, and you'll be out of debt and have a fully funded business owner emergency fund in a year and 3 months-ish, right around there. I want to hear from your standpoint, what are you actually going to do knowing yourself?
Yeah. I think that time frame's pretty realistic.
Not a Panda Express once in a year and 3 months?
Yeah. It would be maybe a Chipotle once a week.
Once a week? That's a lot.
It is. But I think that's how I could realistically do it. It might push me back to a year and 4 months instead.
No, I'm thinking if you're willing to slip on that immediately before even walking out the door, I'm thinking more of almost 2 years.
Okay.
Just being realistic, seeing how other people have walked away from this table and doing things. That's still great. Well, the thing that sucks about that is I want you to start investing.
Yeah.
And the longer you delay, you're missing more and more of the years of the best decade of your life for investing. And a lot of people, some people will comment it's impossible to go cold turkey and just not spend money on fun. You can have fun without spending money. Yeah. And your girlfriend can also spend money on shared experiences as well.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand is that you're just missing time.
Yeah.
Time is the best tool for wealth building, and you're losing it. And you lose it even more the longer and longer you stretch this out by not willing to sacrifice certain things temporarily. And then you can have as much Chipotle as you want in a year and a quarter.
Yeah.
No,
that makes sense.
You could open up a franchise or something if you want to. I don't even know. But, yeah. That's my thoughts on it, but I'll let you in. What are your final thoughts?
No, that sounds like a great plan. Goal is to obviously make more than what we're budgeting off of, but it's better to budget off of what's conservative. So that's the goal. Get it all done.
For Bryce and his Hammer financial score, I think it's fair to say his finances are average, decent, okay. The car debt is pretty bad. I'm happy he got out of that business debt very quickly. Now, obviously, that means he has a very low emergency fund, especially for an income that could be very variable with his overall business ownership. So that puts him in a riskier position for sure. There's a little bit in retirement for 23, okay. And I really want him to amp that up going forward. But for now, because of the debts, because of the lack of emergency fund, and starting to get behind on investing because he has to pay off the debt, Hammer financial score 5.5 out of 10. Make sure to check out the resources in the description that I've provided for you all, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks.